Me, an alien, and the Thing. Except
And
we
Over
had
the
to
Garden
watch.
Wall.
Yeah, I had a friend.
I had one of those too.
It is Over the Garden Wall season. It's October. Oh, it's almost October. Sorry.
Yeah, tomorrow is October.
Hey everyone, that was a much louder clap than usual for myself for us to start recording, so I scared myself.
Good morning.
Where was I? Oh, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Payne.
Hello, it is me, Payne. We are now without guest, to be fair. Oh, this episode would come out right after... it's right after Blackjack.
Oh, okay. So...
Yep. So, in the timeline of things, we've recorded, what, 3 guests? 2 guests? It feels like 3. And, well, we've filmed 2 guests in a row, and then...
the first episode of the series. And then another guest. If we're going backwards.
Yeah, we recorded a guest... The first we recorded a guest, finished Gravity Falls, did the first episode, and then did 2 other guests. And we still have to film the episode pre-Blackjack. The reason people might be like, why are you doing all this? Well, this episode's show is only on Hulu. And this is still in the time when they're making us pay $20 for Hulu. Or about to. And I'm like, I ain't paying for that. So. Which I think after we're done here, I'll have to cancel.
Oh, I thought you took care of that this morning when we joined the call. I was like, you're free. You don't need it.
Oh, I do remember you saying that. Hold on, I can do that right now. Let's see. Account. Oh, good. I remembered my login, so I don't have to look it up. Let's see. Pause my subscription? No, let's cancel. Cancel my subscription, please. Switch to Hulu. No. Cancel. Oh, wow. I can get 3 months for $3.
They're desperate. And they want you to forget that it's only $3 for 3 months.
Mm-hmm. It worked for Stars. That wasn't in my main email.
Oh, it was in our email?
Yeah. It's temporarily back. I'm using other services, technical issues, due to personal reasons, content availability, payment. Oh, wait. Cost is too expensive. There we go. It's the first one. Oh, we'll miss you. I won't.
Now that our technical stuff is handled, are you ready?
I have it for 6 more days.
Huzzah. But, so, since Payne has mentioned Hulu, this episode is us watching what I didn't realize is, I guess, an anthology series of, like, short films. Because if you look it up on IMDb, it has, like, a prior title and then says it's, like...
Oh, yeah.
Episode 3 in them.
Wait, this is the 3rd one?
Of here, let me send you this IMDb.
I know there's a second one.
Yeah, this is 3rd. All of them are rated about the same. It's kind of funny.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize that either. Like, I don't know. It's weird that they didn't say it.
In the one list that we had, yeah, it wasn't obvious. But yes, so we watched Pooka, exclamation point. Not to be confused, because if you look up just Pooka without the exclamation point, or without it being the Into the Dark series, there's another TV series, I think, that's like or movie that's a 10 out of 10. And I was like, there's no way. What we just watched got a 10 out of 10 on IMDb.
It got a 5.5 out of 10.
Yeah, all of the Into the Darks all seem to be, 6.2 to 4.9. So this one's... the most average out of all of them.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Oh, there's another Pooka one. There's a
yeah,
season
that's
2.
yeah, and like I read it and because that one's on Hulu as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, we'll get into it, but I'm like that doesn't make sense with how this series ends
Yeah.
or episode ends. A horror anthem. Oh, inspired by each holiday. Oh, okay. That's pretty. Like, I was wondering
Yeah, because I saw
what it
the
was.
other ones are like New Year's, and then there's like a Thanksgiving one.
There's a Batman series like that.
Okay. I thought you were saying there was a Batman one in this anthology, and I was like, what
No.
holiday is Batman?
Um, Mother's Day.
Or Orphan's Day.
Yes, the highly celebrated Orphans Day.
But yeah, so do you have anything else you want to introduce or let the audience know before we roll to get into what we watched?
I do as soon as I get back to Pooka. There we go on the IMDb. Right. Did they just like rip the episode out now? I'm like,
And do you need me to send you the link to what we
oh,
watched?
because like, is it the? Okay, I guess it's the same thing. Okay, yeah. No, I was confused. I guess what I'm getting confused on was like when you click it, it takes you to like it looks like the movie thing.
Which movie?
Like when you click on the episode Pooka, it takes you to the Hulu original. Like, is it based off of it? Like, I'm just hold on. Let's see.
Which Pooka are you clicking?
I was clicking on the. I clicked on the Into the Dark Pooka, and it's like it's playing the trailer and shows all the things for. Hold on, the 2018 one.
Yeah, that's the one we watched.
Yes. I didn't know if the episode for the Into the Dark thing was the same exact thing or not.
It is. I mean, if you play the trailer, let the trailer play, yeah, it is.
Okay. That's what I was getting a little bit confused on. I was like,
Did we watch different movies? Is the trailer
no,
different than?
no,
Oh, okay.
no. Like we watched the same thing. What I was getting confused on because like when I think of like the anthology series, I was thinking of, like it not being like full length movies for everything. But then I'm like, that's what the UK does for all their stuff.
Well, this is also like not really like it's like what, an hour 10, hour 20. So I
It
get
was like an hour and a half.
Is it an hour and a half?
Yeah, an hour 20, 23.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, you're like full length movie. I was like, was it like 2.5 hours? No, it was like an hour and some change.
I don't know. Anything over an hour doesn't feel like a TV show. Hey. But I do have some fun Christmas facts that would on this giant spreadsheet. I realized I probably should keep the facts written there so that way I know which ones I did.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the first one I have here, which I left up, is that fit with these the best I could fit with the theme. And the first one is Christmas breakfast with ghosts. In Portugal, the Christmas morning feast is called consoda. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right because it doesn't have the how to pronounce the word. Or maybe consoda. I don't know. Portugal people, let me know. It is much like Christmas meals elsewhere in the world, but there's one key difference. In Portuguese, they set places for the alminhas a penar, or the souls of the dead. They eat where pretty much they eat with the dead. And then I think it's 39 is the other one that fit. I think that's what I wrote. Yes. Where the title of that is Take Your Marriage Advice from a Shoe. Need relationship advice? if you're in the Czech Republic, wait till Christmas, and you don't need to worry. It's believed that if you throw a shoe over your shoulder on Christmas Day, it will tell you to be married that year or not. If the shoe lands pointing to the door, you're going to get hitched. If not, you're out of luck. Just trust the shoe.
Just trust the shoe.
So, but yeah, if this is your first episode, welcome. And pretty much what we do is that we're going to roll, if you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm holding up the dice, but we're going to be rolling 2d10.
Oh, right.
I
ran D&D this week.
I have to be run through D&D this week.
That sounds saucier than I think you realize.
Probably. But
percentile.
Yes, for Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, so we'll be doing that. Whoever rolls lower will be giving the quick minute. I say this for every guest because they keep winning. 1 to 2 minutes max, and it always turns into like 7.
Yeah, but if this is your first time listening, this is our holiday horrors.
Oh yeah, holiday horror.
Where I sent Payne a list back in January of what about these, because we always like to do Halloween episodes and Christmas episodes, but we never know what to do with a gap in between, i.e. Thanksgiving. So I was like, what if we just start in October and just watch a whole bunch of maybe Halloween, maybe Christmas movies through to the holidays. And
we said yes.
This is coming out. Everything's out of order. But this is
end of October?
No, this is mid-November.
Oh, mid-November.
But what I was going to say is it is kind of fun because I kind of was like, what if we do it where it's more Halloween themed and then becomes more Christmas themed? But I had no clue if it was going to be true, and it seems to be working out.
So far, yes. And this one definitely, well, I'll hold my tongue.
'Tis the season.
When this episode comes out, for turkey and families to put up with each other. Ooh,
for preparing for Black Friday. That's what this movie is for.
It comes out that close?
Yeah, it's we have it listed as the air date is November 13th.
I didn't realize November 13th was that close to Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's
only 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well. Okay. Rip Thanksgiving.
I like Thanksgiving, but I also think last year my Thanksgiving was just sitting in my house. Nah, it's whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, so we will be rolling dice for a quick synopsis of the movie Pooka. Spoilers ahead.
And then, go ahead.
And then we just ramble
for 30 minutes.
And then I ask questions at the end to kind of.
I gotta open up my notes.
I didn't really take any because I don't know.
It was a little bit straightforward, but it's like compared to the last couple movies, I'm like.
It tried something.
That's
what I'll say.
Yeah.
It tried. All right, but yes, so let us roll our dice. Lower number has to give the synopsis, correct?
Correct. I'll put that on that window. Oh, I think you're giving the synopsis.
What's 00 again? That's just 0.
That's 0.
I got a 4.
I got a 92. So I'll let you give the synopsis while I set the timer.
All right. So where do I even start with this movie? Okay. So this movie is essentially, I don't think it's advertised as one, but it's a psychological thriller. Or like a psychological horror where we're following Winston, who has decided he's starting a new life for himself, but is very cryptic about like his past and everything. All we have that we know about is we have an opening shot with what looks like, it kind of looks like a car accident in the very opening shot, where you see a bunch of flashing lights. And then we follow Winston as he tries to restart his life. He gets hired in to be, or he's an actor, and says that he's struggling to get work, ends up auditioning and finds himself allowed to be the mascot for some mysterious toy, and he's the only mascot. There's an NDA and all this stuff. And as he's donning on the costume for this mascot, he ends up basically realizing who he really is and what the truth actually is about everything. TLDR, he's a shit human being. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any more sentences I should tack on there?
I don't know.
Here, I'll do a quick sequence of events. So, opening, they want you to feel bad for Winston because Winston seems to be poor, lost, confused, and is looking for help and figuring out what to do with his life. You're supposed to feel bad for Winston because he seems to be getting confused and admits to like losing time and is like, maybe I'm a bad person. And you're like, oh no, everybody is a bad person, because the old lady. And then you get to the point where you're like, wow, I don't like Winston, because Winston is a creepy stalker who's in love with people and might be a murderer. And then yes.
And then yes. Okay,
yes.
That's a good
That's
spot.
a good synopsis.
Let's hit the timer.
Do you have anything to add? Or is that pretty much...
I like the synopsis being as spoiler free. Here's a note that I wrote and I think is a good synopsis of the movie. How to be delusional 101.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping, I mean, it'll come out as we talk about it. I was hoping this was purgatory. And I was kind of upset that it wasn't.
Yes. It's like, now that I know it was a TV show, it's like pieces be falling in place here. A little bit more. Here, we can say what oh, never mind. I was like, what does Wikipedia say? And then it's like literally just this. How about IMDb? What is there? A struggling actor takes on a seasonal holiday job as a mascot for the year's hottest new toy, Pooka. While we're putting the costume on, this would have definitely spoiled the movie if I read this before it. Anyway, I'm gonna start the time and then we can chat.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, boop. I'm gonna skip some of these things because like I don't really think it's pertinent. Like the first scene, I was like, the unseen ending to the Tickle Me Elmo Wars, but
not far off.
Yeah. Let's see. So when he first they bring out the toy Pooka, I'm like, that looks like Venonat.
It does look like the Pokemon Venonat. The big eyes and the little red mouth. I also hated that they're like, sometimes Pooka's nice, sometimes he's naughty, he repeats your phrases, and sometimes they sound like demons.
Yeah. Which is why pretty much the next two notes after this thing looks like Venonat, I'm like, that thing isn't amazing. That's a demon plushie. And then the next note, yeah, that dude's a cult leader.
Oh yeah, the audition with what was it? Triangle to your face, hands out like an offering, spin like an airplane.
Yeah,
do it faster.
Yeah, it was the beginning of this movie. It definitely this is some cult junk going down in here.
I think for me, the beginning felt like it had a lot of potential. Like I was like, oh, they're like trying to be deep, and then that's where trying.
An attempt was made.
Yes.
I will say the second thing I wrote, I think I wrote what it was. The one of the notes I wrote is, compared to the movies we watched so far, some editing was going on in this one. There was, as we said, the beginning, it looked like they actually it set the tone for Wilson. It felt like of what they wanted us to feel, like him being depressed of what's going on, because he's just sitting there zoning out, just oh my goodness, the season. And I'm like, I wrote while he's totally like, oh my goodness, life sucks. As I'm like, yep, this is what I feel like when I play Christmas carols in public too.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was interesting because all the actors are also really good in this compared to a lot of the other movies we've been watching. So, is it just like, do you think the story fell apart because it was too straightforward, or because of like the way that it was told?
I'm trying to think, like, because I'm like, my brain is comparing it to what we watched so far, and it's like I enjoyed my viewing of it, but at the same time, it's like, okay, it is very kind of straightforward.
I think, yeah, like in comparison with everything else we've been watching, this is the most engaged I've been in one of the movies we've had listed. Where like Ginger Dead Man, I was like, my brain was melting, and then they would say something stupid or someone would die in a stupid way, and then I'd be like, oh, right, I am watching something that's not just a bunch of people saying words that don't make sense next to each other. Rare Exports, that one was fun to watch. Necrotronic, that was hard for me to keep paying attention to.
Yeah. I think currently, out of all of them, like, this one would definitely be a little bit higher than the ones we watched. And then I did like Rare Exports, even if it was, I like the setup for Rare Exports, and it's like
Rare Exports took me longer. Like, I can see where you can compare it to The Thing, but I think it took me a bit more work to really get invested into it. This one, in the very beginning, I was like, oh, what's wrong with Wilson? And then we found out what was wrong with Wilson, and I was like, I feel like I've watched this.
This movie is like a trauma dump of Wilson, because it's just like, oh, it keeps getting worse. You're not great. Oh, wait a second. I was sort of rooting for you a little bit in the beginning, and then I do think at the beginning it does a decent job of like, is this demon plushy trash going on? And then as you go forward, you're like, no. Where it's just like, the dude is creeping.
He is a creeper. He needs some help.
Yeah. Where it's just like, what was it? What was it? Yeah, where he's just like staring out the window after one of the things, and then and then it's like creepy cult salesman's just like, oh hey, yeah, hold up, I got you, and just goes up, gets her number for him, and he's just
yeah,
like,
it was so weird. And like, I know it was all meant to be set up where it was working out in like a really creepy way, because, you know, the final reveal of the movie and the way that it's set up. But even then, I think he got to that point when he was starting to try and date that girl that my suspended disbelief was hanging on by like the tiniest thread. So then as things kept going forward, I was like, all right, I'm having trouble. Like, the idea that nobody thought to try and call the cops into the Pooka costume when he literally like attacked a child at a birthday party. And I was like,
funny.
I was like, there's no repercussions. And then the girlfriend was like, I'm not blaming you. It's like, you should blame him. I know you don't think it's him in the suit, but his attitude is not good. He wasn't at the party. I've never seen you and Batman in the same room before. Like, that joke.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, so beats up child, and then it's like his reaction to, why you always blame him? And it's like, guy, that's not what he's saying. Just like,
yeah, she's like, I'm worried that whoever you hired needs to get in trouble. And he's like, oh, so it's my fault because I wanted to do something nice for this family. And she's like, I did not. I just mean, are you okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
then it, oh, go ahead.
He's not.
Yeah.
Not.
where it's just like, so their like first date is them getting a Christmas tree.
No. Their first date's the dinner.
Is it the dinner? Oh yeah, the dinner. The first full family thing, I guess.
The family outing is the tree. Yeah.
Is the tree, and it's like they get it, they bring it in, and then it's like a little bit of foreshadowing. It's I think if this was like, as we were saying, like a full length movie, like if it was like an hour and a half, an hour 40, I don't think it would have made the experience more enjoyable. I do think it is a decent, for what we experienced, like it is.
I think if they had an extra half hour, I think they could have paced some of the stuff.
Yeah.
I do feel like some of it could have been cut, though, honestly. Like, the motor oil bits, like, I understand in hindsight what that was supposed to be, but, like, the scene where he, like, uncovers the two mannequins and they're just boiling, and I was just like, it didn't add to the story. He's been having lucid nightmares since the beginning of the thing.
I think if that happened earlier, it would have it would have been more interesting. It just, like, at that point, it's like, okay.
Did they show too much? Is that what the problem ended up being?
Maybe, like,
because, like, it's weird because it's not that I dislike what they were trying to do.
Yeah,
I dislike how it came out.
How I think it's just a pacing issue.
It was a pacing.
Because, like, while watching it, like, I did enjoy it. Like,
I wanted to know the truth.
I like the mystery of it kept me held, but at the same time, and I think it does a pretty decent, like, misdirection, because, like, at the beginning, I'm like,
you assume it's the company,
cult, like it feels like certain parts of this, it is almost like we saw Hereditary and we like the weird cult stuff in that.
So we were like, come on, more cults. Cult.
But, like, the very end, like, after watching this, I'm like, this isn't Hereditary. This is a watered down Donnie Darko. I
think maybe the final scene might have been what pissed me off the most. Where they wanted it to be like, oh, everybody he's been interacting with over and over again is really just the medics. I realize we say this, but we haven't said what happened. Okay, so jump forward, spoilers, towards the ending. So yeah, so he devolves and everything, and eventually we get to him unlocking a part of his memory where he was a successful actor, and in being a successful actor, he has marital issues and is playing the whole, I provide for this family, I can do whatever I want. And that in the Wilson we meet in the beginning, Wilson in the beginning is trying to date a single mom, even though he never, like, confirms that the woman is single. But anyway, it doesn't matter in the scope of things realistically. But yeah, so he's trying to date the single mom and impress this child. But when he unlocks the true memories, the child and the woman are actually his actual wife and his child. And what ends up happening is he gets into a fight with his wife, and the wife is like, I'm filing for divorce after this. And he starts beating up the Christmas tree, and the son witnesses it, and he goes, oh, we'll go pick up a tree. And he decides to drive dangerously, and the mom is trying to console the son, who's scared and is confused. And the last phrase is, look at all the pretty lights, before he takes his eyes off the road and causes a car accident that kills everybody but him.
Yeah. As it should be.
So yeah, so the ending where everybody he's been interacting with in his hallucinations is just the medics made me roll my eyes so hard that I was like, I don't like this movie.
And it feels like it could be a little bit of, like, not full purgatory, but it kind of,
he's still haunted by his past. Yeah.
Well, like, the ending of it shows both personalities, because, like, I don't even know if we said that. I'm like, because there's multiple, as you were saying, the lucid dreaming stuff where I think the setup for like before kind of the reveal at the end, I thought some of the dream sequences were interesting. Where
I liked the when he goes to the tree lot. I thought that was an interesting one where the fire was in the tent and everything.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, okay, so it's purgatory. And then you find out it's the fire from the car accident. And I was like, oh, okay.
but like even the earlier ones, like when we're just like, okay, is this Pooka or is this Walter? Or Wilson, sorry, I realized I wrote Walter down instead of Wilson. But there's like where he's just having a conversation. I forgot her name. I just called her Mrs.
Red.
Old Lady. Is that her name?
Yeah, he just calls her Red.
Oh, because her room's red.
Her hair's red.
Oh, yeah, I guess that too. Everything's red.
All metaphors.
Yeah, she did a very good job being weird, but like. There was so many things like now in hindsight I'm like, okay, this makes sense a little bit, where she's like when because there's a part when like he puts on like when he first puts on the Pooka thing, like he almost like suffocates.
He starts hyperventilating,
Yeah. To the point where like the salesperson's like, yo buddy, and like takes the hat the helm the head off of the costume, and he's able to breathe, and he takes it home, and then he's like, well, what's the worst that could happen? And he puts it on, and like Pooka proceeds to destroy his apartment, to where it quick cuts to him and Red Wilson and Red clean up the apartment, and he's just like, her like, you didn't hear anything? She's like, no, I didn't hear anything. It's just weird. And I'm like,
yeah, and he's like, the windows were closed, the door was locked.
And it shows in the beginning that, like, you need to be let in if you don't have your key.
Mm-hmm. Because he has to buzz her.
Yeah. So there's that. And then, like, there's another scene with him and Red just kind of having tea. And, like, they're just chilling, have everything. And then you just hear, like, punching. Like, you hear, like, thuds against a wall. And they're just like, he's like, do you hear that? She's like, no, I don't hear anything. He's like... And then, like, he just gets up and leaves.
Goes
like,
to his apartment.
And, like, she doesn't do anything, like, doesn't follow. And then, like, he goes in and, like, it's just Pooka just punching the wall. And then it, like, the camera turns and it's Wilson standing there with his hands all, like, bleeding and everything. And it's like, okay, they're connected.
They are one.
Yeah. And then there was other stranger things that happened with the Pooka costume. One that I very much wrote for. I don't think that's what that was designed for.
Yeah, there was a lot of sexual tension with him in that costume.
Yeah.
And I don't... Like, also that kind of threw me for a loop, because none of his... How would I say it? Not to say that he doesn't have trauma relating to his romantic relationship specifically, but, like... Is it supposed to hint that he's like, is it, okay, let me rewind a bit. The fight that he has with his wife is a bit vague. Did he cheat? I'm assuming he probably cheated on her because she keeps calling him a liar and he gets upset by it. So, like, is that why Pooka was sexually explicit in a bunch of random scenes? Because he was promiscuous? Like, ow. It seemed unnecessary.
Yeah, it definitely felt like an unnecessary,
because there were two scenes. There was him and himself, and then there was the one where he's like running around and like Pooka might be sleeping with another Pooka, because there was a lot of furry legs.
I don't know, it was,
I don't know where one began and one ended.
Yeah, it's like, well, the one when it's just himself, it was him in control. The other one was Demon Pooka, just like
motor oil out of the face.
Yeah, look what I'm
Fire
doing.
eyes.
Look what I'm doing. He's like, I don't wanna. But there's
very what's the Kubrick movie we watched last year? Shining. The Shining. Where he just opens doors. Oh, people are having sex here. Whoa, it was weird.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Jack Nicholson. I don't know. It was pretty cool.
I love making out with a random woman in the bathtub. Oh, she ugly. No, I don't like it anymore.
Take it back. Uno reverse. Yeah, it's. I don't know. It's like it. It didn't feel like it connected. Like it.
Did it try too much to be edgy? Then it got to the point where it felt like it was trying too hard.
I don't know. It's
not a bad premise. It was just not told in a way that worked.
Yeah. Like, if there was some, like, explanation to why he's doing... Like, because I think the first one could have been, like, translated as, like, oh, man, I wanted to go further, but she won't let me. Well, I gotta go take care of stuff, I guess.
Oh, yeah, because he was like, can I spend the night or something? Or can I kiss you? And she said no. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was something weird. And then the second one, it was like when he's like, who is Pooka? Who's in control? Who is everything? There was also the weird like scene when he's like trying to call, because like Mel is ex-wife, girlfriend, all the stuff. Oh my goodness, her last name is Burns.
I'm looking messed up. It's a bit messed up.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that because she does have the real estate license, so we should have been able to see that.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that either. I looked over because I had the IMDb. It's like Melanie Burns. Hold on, where's Son?
Should be Ty Burns. Then,
yeah.
Right?
Oh no, his name's just Ty. He doesn't get a last name. Close is Wilson's last name. Anyway, I forgot. That fully pulled me out of whatever I was about to say.
When he tries to call her and it says the number's not connected, that bit where he goes to her address.
Well, before that, where he's like leaving, I think he leaves a message. Like, cause like this is when he's like going full like psychotic because he's like tries to give Ty another Pooka doll.
Oh, and he leaves the recording. Like,
leaves the recording, yeah. And but there's like the scene when he's like recording that, and like he's just sitting in the chair, and there's like this is where I'm like I got a little bit of the Hereditary themes because there's just
the kids,
all these kids like bowed down holding Pooka dolls.
Oh, and let us not forget to say that Pooka was best-selling toy very quickly, but apparently they only have one pop-up shop wherever they live. And then all of a sudden, all of them malfunctioned, so the whole world turned against Pooka because it kept repeating. The only phrase was, look at the pretty lights, which doesn't make sense until the very end. But
But at that point, I was curious. I'm like, which would also been an interesting thing to go down, but it didn't, where I was like, since he's like head Pooka wearing like the mascot thing, is his like emotional state
controlling
determining how the Pookas react?
That would have been interesting too, because it all was malfunctioning at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then things only got worse for him because they were like, oh, they're all recalled, you don't have a job anymore.
Mm-hmm. And it's like there was multiple times where like Pooka was doing good when he was in a, like, things were going well. Like, he was in the relationship, he was doing this, got the job, everything's going well. And then, like, when he had that fight, that's when more and more Pookas were, like, every time he talked, it's when the evil Pooka voice came out. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, the more and more, like, as the story goes on, the more and more the Pooka dolls kind of go evil.
I also thought it was interesting. I would have liked to have seen more done with it when you mentioned earlier that he puts on the mask in the very beginning and he starts hyperventilating, and then they make a comment. He's like, how'd you know like the size the suit needed to be? He's like, oh, because we made it for you. And then at the very end he's hyperventilating because they take his mask.
Yeah.
And then he's like, it is me. I am it. And I was like, ooh, where is this going to go? It didn't.
Yeah.
It's just him putting on a mask to make himself hurt more.
I hurt myself today.
Oh yeah, because important thing to they show us the end scene or the beginning scene at the end again, and we find out at the end it is the Pooka doll, and the last recording that Pooka doll has is of the now dead wife saying, "Look at all the pretty lights." So that's why Wilson is obsessed with Pooka the toy. And
I had a hard time hearing what Pooka was saying, so I had to like rewind and put on subtitles.
I watch it with subtitles.
Yeah. So is that like also the first line of the movie?
Pretty sure it is. Yeah.
This, honestly, watching this movie, it made me want to just watch Donnie Darko. Like the ending and everything. I'm like, But let's see. We got like 7 minutes left on the timer. I'm just seeing if there's anything else.
I mean, it is a shorter film, and like we said, it's pretty straightforward. Was there anything else that stood out to me? I think I thought it was cheesy when he was looking at photos and things were disappearing. I thought that was a little cheesy.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, because what was it? He asked someone to take a picture of the three of them with the tree because they found the perfect tree. And then after the birthday party, he's like, "Why'd you get rid of the tree? It was perfect. If you hate that I do nice things to this family, you could have just told me." And she's like, "What tree?" And then he goes back, and in the photo, they're awkwardly, there is no tree.
Like I felt like stuff like that was more and more like showing he's not mentally okay.
Yeah, but I think it got to the point where they were showing it so
a little
often.
too much.
Yeah.
There was what was it? Because like it also felt like tree fire, like with everything in there. It felt like it was going to lean more towards like a house fire.
Yeah.
And then it was like, no, it was just
because with
accident.
the car accident, I mean, I know there was fire that he saw, right? Because naturally the motor oil
the car exploded
and then exploded. But yeah, like,
and then Mrs. Old Lady or Red just like, "Oh, I see you."
yeah.
And then I don't know. I guess
and he has no trauma towards the other woman he killed. There was another woman
daughter?
in the car with Red. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they mention her, and in the beginning of the movie, she's mentioned like, yeah, I have a daughter. I remember because she's like, yeah, normally we spend time together, but she's unable to meet with me this year.
Oh, and then he gets her a tree because he's like, "You won't feel alone because I got you the perfect Christmas tree," because he's obsessed with Christmas trees.
Yeah, and then she like death stares the Christmas tree as it's like, I think
flickering.
You hear the accident.
Yeah, and then the lights all flicker, and she's like gasping. But also, I think it's really impressive that he went to a Christmas tree that's like a real Christmas tree and was able to snap it in half like that in his fit of rage when he was fighting with his wife. Because he walks up to the Christmas tree, he's like, "I don't do enough for this family. What do you mean? I got the perfect Christmas tree." And then he stomps it and then rips it up in half. And he goes, "Oh, sorry, son. I didn't know you could hear me yell at the top of my lungs about how much your mother is a whore."
Well, it's time to get a bigger house.
The Christmas tree lot's still open. It might be midnight, but let's go get trees.
At night, yeah.
Yeah. I gotta drive 1,000,000 miles an hour, but we're getting you the better tree. I was like, yeah, I'd hate Christmas too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the mom is like, the dead wife is like, "Get out of my house." He's like, "I paid for this house. I'm the rich actor. Look at me on the pictures on the walls."
Yeah, the other thing when Ty, like before we know like the ending, when he's like, "Yeah, Ty really wants that Pooka doll," and like the white Mel's just like, "No, like but if it happens, it happens." But he's like, "Okay," and then he's like, he goes pull strings to get the Pooka doll. And I was like, I know story-wise why he's getting this kid the Pooka, but he's really getting the doll that he's having cult dreams about. Is that the best idea?
Is that really the move here, guys?
It's like, so. And I also wrote, to be fair, if I had to be Pooka all day as well, I'd probably go crazy.
Especially when he has to, like, they clearly did not put the robotic voice in the costume. He has to just decide to be good voice, demon voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell what year it was filmed because the one kid comes up, I like turtles. He's like, I like turtles.
Yeah, it was definitely what I write. I made a mention of it. Where is it? It was nothing like memes in a movie.
Really ages a movie.
Yeah, pop culture. The other thing is I didn't know this was a good way to meet a potential spouse is to schedule an open house tour.
Yeah, corner her in her place of business.
Yeah. It's like, I don't normally do this, but... And it's just like... No, she should have left.
Yeah.
She'd have been
but
like,
the
no.
beginning makes a lot more sense of them interacting at the house.
Yeah.
When you find out he was a successful actor and could afford the house. Because it is... because, you know, he does buy the house and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But...
I also had to look up when this came out because she's like, no bad homes. And I'm like, no bad homes. Has she seen the house in market? So, yeah. So I think
we covered most of...
Yeah, if we got like 2 minutes left and I can't think of anything
okay.
else.
We'll talk more as the questions come up.
Yeah, it's not like a Ginger Dead Man where it's like... let's talk about all the bad things.
All right.
But, yeah.
Would you consider this more a Christmas or Halloween movie?
I think it's set in Christmas, but thematically, I think it would lean better for Halloween.
Yeah, like this one I think is the most 50-50 one that we've watched, at least so far on the list. Because the premise does rely on being a Christmas. It's a very important point to the plot. But Christmas is still a background, while the horror and thriller elements are more in the forefront.
Yeah, like there's constantly, like, I would 50-50 split because there's definitely, like, according to our list, like there's no Santa, or I don't really think there's a moral. But there's definitely...
Don't fight with your wife on Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, no, just not in front of the kid.
Exactly. Kids don't need to see marital issues. Actually, I think there was a study on that where it's like... Well, to an extent, but it's like a lot of... like, kids who never see their parents, like, do, like, disagreements in front of them and, like, work through it in a healthy manner. Like... have a hard time, like, understanding that you're supposed to work through issues with your spouse, like, when they get older, because you're like, well, that's not how my parents did it. It's like, no, your parents just did it in private. And so it's
and then there's the flip side that I'm still unpacking, where all they do is fight.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I said in a healthy manner. Like,
I was waiting for the butt.
Yes, it was. That's why we made sure to put that there, because I know too much has different a different
the opposite
fun.
Yes. Drop something.
But
we both agree this one's like this one is, as far as we've watched so far, Christmas is other than rare exports, that Christmas is actually important to this movie.
Yeah, because like this
and rare exports are the... At least so far. We were watching these out of order, so these episodes are coming out of order, so don't mind us.
The first one we recorded, I think technically it happened any time of the year.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think we should say it will be very clear when that one comes out. But it's
the first two episodes did not need it to... I don't even think the second one had any holiday theming other than the fact it was gingerbread. Ginger Dead Man.
Yeah, I was closing and opening things. Is that the second one? Oh yeah, Ginger Dead Man. Yeah, Ginger Dead Man. The closest connection to Christmas was gingerbread. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with it saying a little bit more on the Halloween side, because Christmas was important, but it did not care that it was Christmas. Like, Christmas was an underlying theme.
I think it would fit in, like, not quality wise, but theme wise, how Nightmare Before Christmas is both Christmas and Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this could fall both, like, I don't think you could have the way this is written be a movie with all the different, like, there's too many things that are connected to the Christmas holiday to where it couldn't happen at other times of the year.
Yeah, so like this one, yeah. You could watch it during either month and I wouldn't yell at you. All right. So then this is a question that does not apply to every movie, but I'm going to do this anyway. Were you rooting for anyone to make it to the end? Me? No. In the beginning, in the first half hour, yes. Everything after the first half hour, I was like, I don't like any of these people. No, that's a lie. The wife and the kid.
Yeah, the wife and the kid, I was like,
bad.
To the knowledge given in this movie.
They didn't deserve it.
They didn't deserve it, but at the same time, there seems to be key important factors left out. So
it is told from the perspective of the
man.
bad guy. So
yeah.
The man specifically, yeah. The man, the bad guy, synonyms. So I think we've answered this question. Do you think this movie could have taken place without it being during Christmas? I don't think so.
Not the way. I think it could happen at other parts of the year, but not with, as we just said,
the strong connections with the holiday.
Like
and I did, now that I'm thinking about it, there is the one line where the guy says, like, we see this a lot this time of year. So I'm curious if Wilson, every time the holiday towards Christmas comes up, he kind of repeats.
It could be, because there's the ex-detective that I work with. He says, like, the time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, specifically the week Christmas Day, is like, this is going to get pretty dark for people, but Christmas Day is, I think, one of the highest days that people commit suicide, because, like, they I don't know the study and everything, but it's like, it's if they lost a family member, like a spouse or a kid, and they're like the only one left, and it's the first year that they're just alone, and it's like having all that Christmas time going on. There's
cheer.
Yeah, and then it just all gathers up where they're alone for the first time. There's a lot of times when he was saying, as a cop, he was called to go, like, to other cops, like, residents, because of them committing suicide because of everything going on. So it's like,
yeah, and
thematically it would fit, like, not even just from a cop standpoint, but from, like, a human standpoint of having all that trauma. And it doesn't look like Wilson ever went anywhere to find help. Yeah.
And it is relevant to the movie. We're not just spitting dark facts, because there is a portion of the movie where the character read the old lady down the apartment building from him, who we get revealed later on of her true identity. But and they make it seem like she's committed suicide, and the main character is like, no, that's not what happened. You need to get the guy. Again, all of his guilt bubbling up. And the detective is like, oh, this is so common during this time of year. We're not going to look into it because this is just what happens this time of year. So that could be, an allusion to, as this could be Wilson's first holiday alone, or this is something that's a reoccurring thing for him.
Yeah, as we said, like, it's not very clear, even if, like, by the end of the movie, if Wilson's still alive.
Yeah.
Like, it could very much be a purgatory, or him, like, his life flashing before his eyes.
I took it as him being alive because the paramedics are like, we got you, buddy.
Yeah, it could be, like, I think it's open enough where it could be taken either way. Like,
that's fair.
But at the same time, I don't know, there's a sequel called The Return of Pooka or something.
Or Pooka Lives.
Yeah, and I was like, this seems to undo
what I thought the ending would be. Yeah. So then my next question for you is, do you think the movie, or no, does this meet your criteria for Christmas movie? So I've got the chart. I've got our charts for Christmas scoring. Does it take place in the Christmas season?
Yes.
Yes. Christmas music?
Yes.
Christmas decorations?
Yes.
Is there a Christmas moral?
We made one up, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say no.
That's fair. Does Santa appear? I
No.
don't believe there's any
No,
Santas.
there is no Santa.
So overall, it does meet our general Christmas criteria. Like, this is just as much a Christmas movie as, say, Green Knight.
Whoa. How dare you put Green Knight on blast?
Well, because I was going to say
I
Green
know.
Knight is during Christmas. There is Christmas music. There aren't decorations, but there kind of is a moral. So, like, it's kind of like on the same scale of like a Green Knight as a Christmas movie. Another comparison would be the only difference, Gremlins, they just have an extra point because Santa does kind of appear in the Gremlins because they have the Santa hat gremlin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did keep track. I was like, what are you bringing up? I don't remember. Like, I remember
Holiday
talking
episodes.
about these, and then I remembered.
My memory.
I was like, this is uncharacteristic of remembering stuff that far back. Of like specific things. I'm like, you remember the scores?
Yeah, it's
I
under the
think
holiday episodes.
Yeah, I'm here now. I would attribute it to more Batman Returns.
You give it more of a Batman Returns. I mean, that's also a 12.
Yeah. There's a lot of 12s here. Like, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, we said we could have gotten a little bit more detailed with the scoring to help weight the scores.
We
a bit
should
better.
redo this list, but with an out of 10.
That'd be
Rewatch the
interesting.
movies, see if they stand there.
Just a yearly tradition. We either
just watch
Halloween
these.
Christmas movies or are they Christmas movies? I know a lot of people suggested other movies. So I guess if you're listening to this episode and you have a means to review, rate, comment, or you could reach out to us individually in all our social media that is listed below. Let us know other Christmas movies that are not Christmas movies.
I just realized I haven't checked our
Goodies.
shared Twitter in so long.
That's fine. I haven't checked it either.
I probably should just delete it and just be like, just come to my Twitter.
Find us, yeah. What would you give the overall rating for this movie?
So I definitely think it's, I'm trying to think. I'm going to give it an 8 because I enjoyed my experience with this movie to the point where I remember one of my friends was not complaining, but he's just like, no one wants to give me horror movie suggestions for a horror Halloween night. And after watching it, like, my first reaction was like, you know what? I think that would fit the group. So I might be watching it again. And so who knows? After I watch it again, I might have a different thought process. But I did enjoy my first watch through, and I think just the way it's set up is that a second watch through, like, knowing everything, might be able to catch more, like, maybe like,
little
details that they're hiding it in there. So, but yeah, I'm gonna say an 8.
Okay. I think I'm personally gonna give it, I was between a 6.5 and a 7. I think I'll give it the 7 because you do make a good point that, like, as we're talking about it again, it does have, like, little things that I'm like, oh, that is interesting. But then I'm also knocking points still because I'm let down because I'm like, it had so much it could do and it fell flat for me.
I was between a 7 or 8. So if we want to give it a 7 out of 10, I'm okay with that. Like
7.5.
We'll go 7 because, like, I was like, it's either going to be a 7 or an 8 for me because, and I think I'm only giving it an 8 because I suggested, like, it to, like, to watch with friends. Like, I don't think Like
You would watch it again.
Yeah, like, and so which would go up in there. Like 7 and 8, I think, is like within the same vein of would watch again. 9 and 10 would be like I would watch this.
Chef's kiss.
Yes.
I would watch this by myself just to pick it apart.
I would watch this without it being assigned to me multiple times.
Me and Alien and The Thing. Except
And
we
Over
had
the
to
Garden
watch.
Wall.
Yeah, I had a friend.
I had one of those too.
It is Over the Garden Wall season. It's October. Oh, it's almost October. Sorry.
Yeah, tomorrow is October.
What I was gonna say is, what was it? Strider was talking to a friend. He was like, "Oh yeah, Hops watched like the entire Alien versus Predator universe, and she was very disappointed at the storytelling of Prometheus." And I was like, "Oh, to our friend, I was like, do you care about spoilers?" He's like, "No." I was like, "What if I told you the aliens were..." Spoilers for other people. Manufactured. He went, "No!" And I was like, "Don't worry, it's canon," because Ridley Scott wrote it. He was like, "God damn it."
But it's like, but don't worry. There's a robot named David, and he's just the best thing that came out of everything.
And I'm using my hands because they're identical.
Yes. Wasn't his name Wilson or was it Walter? Oh my goodness, did I?
Are you mixing movies up? Oh, for audio listeners, I was taking my two hands and making them smooch. It makes sense if you've watched. Is it Prometheus or the second one?
Second one.
The second one.
Whatever. Hold on, it's on here.
We watched them.
Yeah, we have the list.
I could have gotten rid of the. I did delete some tabs, so it could be gone.
Wasn't talking points. Let's just. We could
I
probably.
might have deleted it.
Maybe. It was. It would be 2 years old.
Yeah. Wow, Prometheus came out in 2012.
I saw it in theaters. Sharktopus. Oh yeah, Alien review. Let's see. Yeah, so how to watch the Alien movies in order. If I scroll down, I should.
Oh, is it No.
No,
Is it
Covenant was AVP. No, it was Covenant. Yeah.
It is Covenant. Okay.
So I don't know. Now, if there was only a way they can combine, get David into the cell. That way we can get Jennifer Lopez hooked up in the Twizzler suit and go into David's mind. Now that
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
That's a name.
So, real quick, it would be not interesting, but looking at Pooka Lives and just the cast of it, I'm like,
is it the same people or no?
No. There's like a lot of like, so. Sorry, there's a person who just has the same name, and I recognize like his picture. I don't know what he's from though. Oh, he's from Harold and Kumar. He's Amir Talai. Talai? I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Oh no, this is also outdated. The description for Pooka Lives is a group of 30-something friends from high school create their own creepy pasta.
Yes. It is. It is definitely outdated, but it's like scrolling down to the cast. Felicia Day.
Oh, that's the guy from
here.
Better Off Ted.
What, Felicia Day?
The guy that plays
Malcolm
Derek.
Barrett. Yeah. Will Wheaton's in it.
I recognize Amir.
Yeah, Amir. He's from Harold and Kumar.
I recognize.
I looked it up.
Matoki Maxted.
There's like a lot more at least
this is with a budget. I mean, like, I recognize John Daly and I recognize the actor for Wilson in regular Pooka.
Wait, Wilson's in this too?
No, the Wilson, the actor, I recognize him from another show that I had watched.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of anything unless it's for this. So oh, he's in Mass Effect.
This is in fact a horror scenario. This isn't Pooka Lives.
I know a bunch of these movies have sequels. I don't know how Christmas related they are. But it would be maybe not right away, but maybe it would be a fun little sun's digesting. A fun little rewatch is to watch some of the sequels. Because like Ginger Dead Man has like 8 movies. It's 3, but
I don't want to watch the Evil Bong crossover.
We can just watch the second one. I don't know. Pooka 2 or Pooka Lives. I'm like, I don't know. This seems fun.
I mean, they really went, oh, we tried to be smart. Now we're going to just make it a horror.
Yeah. At least just from the screenshots and the thing that we're reading. I don't know if it was a holiday themed thing. I will say, like, learning that it was part of a Halloween, or not Halloween, but like a holiday anthology. I'm like, I don't know if there's anywhere that we could get our hands on it, but that would be, I wouldn't mind.
You canceled Hulu.
Is it only on Hulu?
Yeah, it's a Hulu original.
Well, this is, never mind. I take it back. I literally just canceled it an hour ago. I probably
do you remember the beginning where it says Hulu Originals when we started it?
I thought it was just that one. Because there's nowhere in there that I saw that it was part of an anthology. I thought they just were like, this one's so good, we're just going to release it separately.
No, if you scroll through all the other ones, it's all like...
Well, then I take it back. You know what will get me to get Hulu again? If they come out with a Prey 2.
Prey was good.
Yes.
You can find different places to watch What We Do in the Shadows. You've got time on that.
There's other places to watch it?
You could probably find, like, other TV services.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I don't think it's just an FX.
Yeah. There's probably... I don't know. I would have to do a little bit of research. I don't know. I'm not saying do that because that's almost as long as a Gravity Falls to do all seasons. But that would be a fun thing to do. Anyway,
yeah, you can buy it or rent it through like Google Play or Amazon. Like, you don't need Hulu for What We Do in the Shadows.
Mm-hmm. So, and if I rent it, I'll probably actually finish it.
So let me look at the anthology. There is a Thanksgiving one. There's New Year's, Valentine's Day. It claims the rest of these should be holidays, but they don't specifically list the holidays on these other ones.
What was this show? Dark Lies, or whatever it was. Into the Dark.
Yeah, season 2. I know I've seen advertising for Pilgrim, which is
yeah, I saw that too.
Thanksgiving.
It was suggested.
Oh, yeah, there's Halloween, Thanksgiving.
Okay,
Christmas.
I'm on the Wikipedia.
New Year's, Valentine.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's. So I don't know what holiday Pooka is for, because there's a St. Patrick's
Christmas.
and then that one. No.
On Wikipedia.
Oh, there's another one that says season 2, episode 3 is like a Christmas party.
I'm looking at season 1.
Oh.
Yeah. So like it starts off Halloween, Thanksgiving, Pooka, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, International Women's Day, or the Ides of March, is the 6th. 7th is April Fool's Day. 8th is Mother's Day. Then they have Father's Day. 10th is Independence Day. 11th is first day of school, and 12 is called Daughter's Day, which I just saw the title of that one is called Pure, which I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so season 2,
yeah,
similar.
Yeah, Halloween is
Pooka's Easter.
Oh, because he lives.
Pooka Easter, Pooka Day.
Yeah, he died on Christmas and rose again on Easter, just like the Christian holiday. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Pet Appreciation Week.
St. Patrick's Day is for crawlers. They traded Pet Appreciation Week for Father's Day, but they got a second Mother's Day called Delivered. Wait, is there 2 Valentine's Day? There are 2 Valentine's Day episodes in the second season.
Why?
I don't know, but this one's called Tentacles. The second one.
Confusing.
And then the spring full moon. They just run out of holidays.
Oh wait, they aired this all the way through 2021. So if you look at the dates, the first Valentine was February 7th. The second one was February 12th, 21.
Oh, okay. So they released as close to said holiday. That makes sense. Still dumb.
That it's a Hulu exclusive? Yeah, I understand.
No, yeah, I don't know. I'm just making a joke, and then I'm like, yeah, there wasn't a really good follow-up to said joke.
Yeah, but in any case, I don't have anything else to add about Pooka!
Pooka!
Thanks, everyone, if you listen this far. We always appreciate you. We also would appreciate if you leave us ratings, reviews, likes, comments, share us with friends, enemies, coworkers. I don't remember everything else we used to say.
Share with all the Pookas.
Just record us on a Pooka and just walk around flying.
Oh man, now the question would be who would have good voice and who would have evil voice? Who do you what do you lean towards when you play Mass Effect?
Good.
Okay, well,
the only renegade option I pick is to punch the reporter.
I was very neutral until I started interacting with more characters I liked, which were aliens. So then everything definitely went blue.
Mm-hmm. You're like, you're a cool guy. I don't want to yell at you for making a mistake.
Yeah, I don't remember everything. I'm like, I wasn't able to punch reporter because I think I handled it too diplomatically. Because I'm like, what the heck are you even talking about? And I'm just like, I'm going to give you non-answers and ruin your career. And then
I know, it's like, what do you think about the fact that you could have saved the universe, but you didn't? Shut up. Shut up.
Well, I haven't played the second one yet because I want to do...
She's in the first one.
Yeah. No, but like, I don't know. I guess that scenario very much sounded like a second game scenario. It was like...
It could, yeah. But in the first one, she makes a comment that's like, do you not like Earthers as much as possible, even though you're a human? And it's like, shut up.
Yeah, I definitely, because at that point, like, without knowing anything about the game, I feel like I'm overthinking the world, but that's just how I do.
And that's absolutely fine.
But it was definitely one of those things where I'm like, technically, I am still part of the military, and the Earth is still trying to look good in the realm of the whole universe. So I'm just going to give the diplomatic answers. And then it's also why I chose the ambassador to take the council seat.
Yeah, that's fair.
But also, after watching that cutscene, after we said don't help the council, I'm like, I think it would have helped the council if I saw how much they actually helped. I'm like, I don't think the Earth military would have really changed anything with what they did. I don't know if it makes the last fight harder or something, but I'm like, okay.
It's been a while. I don't really remember.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I'm too lazy to redo it. But anyway, thank you guys. Do things, eat cheese. See you next. Oh, what are we doing? What episode's next week? Next week is Jack Frost. We don't have a guest. But anyway, till next time. Bye.